At the heart of Southeast Asia, there's a city too strange to believe. Huge 20-lane highways, completely empty. Massive temples, no one in sight. It's 4 times the size of London, 6 times the size of New York. But apparently nobody is living here. Today, we're diving deep into the ghost capital of Myanmar, Naypyitaw. Naypyitaw is the capital city of Myanmar. It's a forested country in Southeast Asia with 50 million inhabitants. You might know the country by a different name, especially if you were around before 1989. Back then, Myanmar was called Burma, and this is actually pretty controversial. The name was changed to Myanmar by a military dictatorship that forced its way into power way back in the 1960s. A lot of people didn't think this regime had the right to change the country's name, but the United Nations called the country Myanmar, so that's the name we'll be rolling with too. Now let's talk about Naypyitaw, the strangest capital on Earth. Here's a satellite image of the city. It has a total area, give or take, of 7,000 square kilometers. As we mentioned earlier, that's several times bigger than London or New York. A similar sized city, but still a bit smaller, as Shanghai. But there's a major difference between Nay Pyi Taw and Shanghai. Shanghai's population is 26 million, whereas Nay Pyi Taw has less than 1 million current inhabitants. It makes the place feel like a ghost town, a ghost megacity. The roads are vast with 20 lanes in some places, but completely empty of vehicles. A truck might occasionally trundle through, but it will usually have the entire road to itself. The parks and gardens are the same. So are the malls, the golf course, the zoo. Even the city's its most famous landmark, the Upatasanti Pagoda, is deserted. There's an airport with space for several million passengers, but on a busy day, there are rarely more than a couple hundred people. There are also dozens of extravagant luxury hotels. But the pools are deserted, and most rooms have never even been used. In fact, the only people you're likely to see are gardeners and street cleaners. This is the big difference between Nay Pyi Taw and a post-apocalyptic city. The capital is maintained to immaculate standards by an army of workers. There are workers in the shops as well. There are rumors that these high-security buildings are connected to a network of underground tunnels that stretch beneath the city. Supposedly, these tunnels were designed with the help of North Korean technicians. These rumors are almost impossible to prove, but considering how strange Naypyitaw is, it wouldn't really come as a big surprise. There are roundabouts too, so vast and bizarre that it hurts your brain to look at them. You won't find roundabouts that look like this anywhere else in the entire world. It's lucky that these roads aren't actually full of cars. These roundabouts would surely be gridlocked. This one is particularly strange and sits in the middle of a 16-lane highway. But for some reason, they decided to build another road to bypass the roundabout, only to then intersect a highway at a 90-degree angle. Further east, there's this other massive 16-lane highway that runs for miles in an almost perfectly straight from the air. It looks quite a bit like an airplane runway. Some of these roads are very dangerous to drive on. There's a stretch of highway running south from Nay Pyi Taw, which is widely known as Death Highway. The road has been plagued by fatal collisions since it opened in 2010. Along the side of Death Highway, there's a famous sign, inexplicably written in English, a warning or a dark joke. I hope this video is informative for you. Please make sure to subscribe to my channel and also press the bell icon so you will be notified of all our updates on time. Thanks for watching.